conditions, autoimmunity, as well as what I did yesterday to really work on my health and work on my body. So again, guys, if you were on our Facebook Live and you were watching, us talk about the flu vaccine, talking about the flu, again, jump onto the second Facebook Live on our
Facebook page.
Yeah, couldn't think of the word, man.
Forget?
I did, man. Yeah, big time, right? But let's kind of dive in, because I know Mary Beth just sent us a message, so apparently I'm not doing a very good job of throwing it out there, because we're getting multiple calls at once, and that's never good for my team. So if you want our help, guys, that number is 423-362-5360. Again, 423-362-5360. And so again, guys, when you come into our office, our goal is to work with you, right? Not to, it's not to make you feel less than, make you feel inferior, tell you that I have all the answers. My goal is to actually find out who you are, what you've been through, and then take my clinical experience and all the things I've learned over the past, 14 years, and as well as Dr. Rebecca, and then apply those things and help you put together a plan to get you well, right? That's what we want to do. And so that's why we see amazing results with our patients in the office. That's why we see people get well. That's why we have people like Sherry that we posted her, her online, or her amazing testimonial, and how we've seen like her antibodies come down, right? You've been working with her as a thyroid patient, seeing her antibodies drastically decrease. We've seen her lose weight like she hasn't been able to lose weight. Her energy levels are amazing. That's why we see people like Michael, who again has now lost over 80 pounds. He's doing it the right way. He's getting his body healthy and well. He's feeling fantastic. That's why we see Mary, who's reducing her pain, actually getting well, again, losing weight, getting energy levels back up, getting off of some of her opioid medication, all because, again, getting down to the cause of the health crisis.
Danielle.
Yeah.
All right, I had a consult with her. People get like so nervous. I might just take a picture with her. People get so nervous when I'm like, hey, let's do a video, and they're like, I don't know how to talk on Facebook. But so Danielle, 8 years with eczema. And you've got to understand, guys, if you're not getting down to the cause, things will always get worse.
Yeah. 8
years of eczema. And when I spoke with her, she was like, right before I came in to see you guys, it was so bad that my skin would bleed. I remember sitting down and talking with her, and she was like, it was so bad that like if I scratched and it was itchy, it would bleed. All of that, like right before she came in. And her husband came to the blood sugar summit that we had, and it was so funny because when the first day she sat down with me, she kind of looked at me like, I'm not 100% sure why I'm here, but she was like, what you got? I mean, we talked about blood sugar, and she was there for not blood sugar, and she was like, I'm not 100% sure, but I need help. It's been about 2 months under care, and it is all completely cleared out. She had a flare-up because they went on a cruise, but she was like, it was so bad. 8 years. Guys, if you are getting diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder and you're not getting well, and you're just needing steroid cream and injections and getting on thyroid medication, if you're not ever getting down to what's causing this autoimmune disorder, and you're not getting coached on how to bring down your immune system so it stinking stops attacking, just because you put a cream on your skin or just because you take a pill like a thyroid hormone pill, you're still, like, your body is still actively attacking itself. You can get rid of the outside symptom, but internally it's still attacking yourself. And so it never makes sense for gut issues, for skin issues, for lupus, if you are not supporting your immune system to come down, you're just going to get worse. And so I loved hearing that from her, because it can be a scary thing to have an autoimmune issue and not really understanding why.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in our society, if you hear the words autoimmune come out of your medical doctor's mouth, it is like, well, this is it. This is what I have to have for the rest of my life. There's nothing I can do about it. it's done, right? It is like, it's basically almost like a death sentence, right? And just knowing that, oh, we're going to get worse. I'll never forget, we had a team member, what was it, a couple years ago, right? They had been taking almost 24 pills a day. They wanted to take it, since she was 5 years old. Been diagnosed with like ulcerative colitis, and it was then had a diagnosis later on of lupus, so I had both of those going on. And they basically told her they wanted to cut out the majority of her colon, that was the only solution. Colostomy bag, that was what it was going to be like. And again, just being in our office and being able to, number one, like, work on her nervous system, get that well, do some things with, just changing up her nutrition, really doing some advanced nutritional strategies specifically for her and dealing with things like ulcerative colitis and digestive issues. We were able to see her get off all those medications and actually get well, get a solution without getting her colon cut out.
This is a crazy thing I never you guys can actually see her testimonial on her Facebook page at Dr. Warren. She actually shared her story on there. She wrote us a letter and said we could post it on there. This was a few months back. But like the crazy thing, I never like admitting this, is like her nutrition wasn't even perfect. But guys, you have to understand, your body doesn't fail you. Your body's every day working to keep you alive. Every symptom that you see, this is what I have to kind of re-educate the people that come into our office and the people that we health coach from far, is we have to teach you that, guys, these symptoms aren't because you're getting old. It's not because your body has failed you. It's because your body has been working overtime and it cannot keep up at this pace without getting well, and then it breaks down. So a car with a check engine light that turns on, putting duct tape on it, and you keep on driving, you would have no place to get mad at your car if it breaks down. Why? Because your car was telling you that something was wrong and you weren't listening to it. So autoimmune disorders, it has to do a lot with an overactive immune system. It has to do with nervous system dysregulation and gut issues. And I just wanted to point this out because Dr. Nathan, your mom, is on Facebook Live right now, and she said, I thank God for your help. Yeah, that's right. We're even coaching our own family members. And it's so exciting because we just got, my mother-in-law is Christine Warren, and she was having some thyroid issues, and so I was like, let's get some lab work done. Let's see what's going on. And she was not feeling well, and her thyroid hormones were a wreck, and they were off. And so I saw that her antibody numbers for her thyroid were high. What does that mean? It means she could have been put on thyroid medication, and all thyroid medication is giving you the hormones. So it can make you feel well. A lot of you guys are not well on thyroid medication because you're not on the proper amount and your doctors aren't reading it right, which means you need to come see me so I can help you. But I saw that even if she got on thyroid hormone, the problem would still be there because her antibody numbers were high. And this is very common. When people, I just had a consult yesterday, the upper limit is 34, and you guys have antibody numbers in the hundreds. So even if you're taking hormones, your body is still attacking yourself. And so we've been coaching her through this, and we just got her lab results back last week, and our antibody numbers were cut in half. Like, amazing. Already. Yeah. We're not done yet, and she knows that. But that just means, like, so she's feeling better, she's seeing different results, and now we can take her even deeper. So that's hope for anyone that's listening that has thyroid disorder, that's having, and this is, I'm really excited for you to talk about what you did yesterday, because headaches or migraines or digestive issues or skin issues, to give you hope, like Danielle, who'd suffered with this for 8 years, that if you get down to the cause and you equip your body to heal well, you will start to see changes with your health. Like, that's what we help you do, but the healing is already inside of you guys. So I just want to, before you go into what happened yesterday, we're going to post pictures about that. If you're listening or if you're on Facebook Live and you're like, man, I've been diagnosed with hormone issues like thyroid, and I just don't feel like myself, or I have really bad skin issues, and I've tried the creams, I've tried all of this, and it keeps coming back. If you're having digestive issues, like with our team member, Chelsea, that is just not getting well, or pain, or migraine, or headaches, and you don't know what's causing it, then it's time to do something different. Okay, it just means that the practitioner that you're seeing is not knowledgeable in how to get you well. And so what we do is we put some appointment times aside for a radio show listener, guys. Give us a call if you'd like to get one of those appointments. Mary Beth is standing by, and you can set up a time. We are a busy office, so we do take payment over the phone to hold the appointment time. But this appointment, guys, is going to be the first time where you have a practitioner that's helping you get down to your health issues. So that number is 423 362-5360. Again, that's 423-362-5360. And so we went to Atlanta yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Big time. And I had a procedure done that just is mind-blowing, right? I showed every patient in the office that I adjusted this morning pictures of it because of how drastic it was affecting my health. So I'm excited to be able to share that, with each one of you that are out there. And here's one of those things that when I look at where I went, I can't imagine, right, all the procedures that they did on me yesterday if I wouldn't have known what I've known, like what that would have looked like for my life, right? And so if you're out there and you're like, man, what is he talking about? Well, guess what? I'm going to dive into it. But we got to take a short break.
Give them a sentence. Just give them a sentence so they can tune in and have Facebook followers.
So the procedure that I had done yesterday was to remove a mercury filling out of my mouth, right? Amalgam filling, right? And it was just mind-blowing how detailed, right, people who are trained at doing that really are, and just how dangerous those things are to your health.
And so this is a really big deal because we went down to Atlanta to see a biological dentist, and we'll go into the details of what that looked like. Mm-hmm. Guys, I just want you to understand that I have people that come into my office with these severe autoimmune issues, nodules all over their thyroid, beginning signs of Alzheimer's and dementia. And two things are common with a lot of the people that we're seeing. Is that their body is burdened, their nervous system's a wreck, so we work with that, we support their body, but then we realize, oh man, they have either had multiple amalgam fillings in their mouth, mm-hmm. or they had them removed incorrectly.
Yep.
I have one guy that came in, and I remember, and he sat there, no symptoms, no health issues, no pain, no nothing in the past, but the one thing he did have was thyroid nodules. And he was like, I don't know why this is bad. And then I dig deeper. And so, literally a year to 2 years prior to those nodules developing, he had 4 mercury fillings removed. Just kind of removed. Just went to a dentist and popped them out and sent them on their way, and then developed nodules. It's in the research.
Yeah.
It's in, the peer-reviewed research. We see it in clinical experience that if you have heavy metal toxicity, not only can you get symptoms like migraine, headaches, numbness and tingling, vision issues, gut issues, all of those things, but then you can start having thyroid issues, you can start having skin issues, you can start having signs of Alzheimer's and dementia, and it's really important to get down to that cause.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we're going to give you the whole dirty details of everything from my experience yesterday, because I wanted to be able to help you guys so that you can take your health to the next level. So again, before we go on break, that number is 423-362-5360 if you want our help. Again, that's 423-362-5360. Give Mary Beth a call. And when we get back, we'll dive into the details. This is the Wellness Radio with Dr. Warren. We'll be right back after the break. All right, guys. So, bottom line, I'm talking about, my experience yesterday. I will be posting the pictures from my procedure yesterday. And guys, I mean, I'm talking, when you see it, it's mind blowing. They literally cover every single thing. They covering my eyes, my hair, my head, my body, covering everything. Then using literally this mouth apparatus that goes in to isolate that one tooth, and then on top of that, putting in a dental dam that literally covers everything here. The dentist, right, Dr. McKenzie, is literally wearing a hazmat suit, right, to make sure that no mercury vapors hit her. And again, that's how they remove it in a safe and effective way.
Well, tell them too, I wasn't even allowed to stay there with the kids.
Nope.
The doctor came to me and said, you need to take the kids out. We're working a lot with mercury here.
Yeah.
And this is a crazy thing, because a lot of people are like, yeah, my dentist just does it. That's dangerous, not just for you, but for the doctor that's doing it on you. And the reason why she's so hyper aware is because she lost her thyroid to heavy metal toxicity. This woman has suffered because in her past she knew that the heavy metals are toxic. So she is hyper aware of any type of way that this mercury can affect people and dental procedures can affect people. So she was like, I'm sorry, these kids got to go, especially they're close to the ground. There's going to be toxic, heavy metals around here. And we're like, bye.
Yeah,
like,
see?
we left. We're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and again, I think you pointed out perfectly. Like, I can't imagine, getting this procedure done improperly. Like, it's actually more dangerous, right, to get it done improperly than just to keep it in. When you get it done improperly, they drill into that mercury filling, guys. You want to talk about the vapor that is released from that will release and actually cross the blood-brain barrier, and it goes into your brain. She was actually showing me studies. It was amazing. I'll have to post some of these studies, but literally showing that they've proven that the mercury that's actually in the filling, specifically that type of mercury that's actually in the filling, has been shown to affect the hypothalamus of the brain. It's been shown to affect, downregulate parasympathetic tone in the nervous system and create sympathetic tone in the nervous system, which is what? That's fight or flight, which means what? Things like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, things like high blood sugar. These are all reactions to having a over sympathetic tone. Things like breathing issues, because again, remember, at the base of the brainstem, that is where your breathing apparatus is. We know that it's literally affecting things like nerve damage into the arms, hands, fingers, toes. We know it's been shown to actually affect all areas of the body when you have these mercury fillings in your mouth. And so when I went and had this procedure done yesterday, it was absolutely mind-blowing, just the caution that they took when they were removing it. And again, it's like, if they take this amount of precaution, right, when removing that mercury filling from my mouth, imagine what it's doing every single day. And so we know that one of the actual leading causes of things like Alzheimer's and dementia is mercury toxicity. So man, I'm so glad I got it out. All right, guys, welcome back to Wellness Radio with Drs. Nathan and Dr. Rebecca Warren here, and we are your local health experts here in Chattanooga, and your health experts across the United States as well on Facebook Live on Drs. Warren. So again, guys, welcome all of you on Facebook Live. Welcome all of you guys here in Chattanooga locally that are listening. We love being able to share this information with you. So today's been a 2-hour show. The first hour we actually went over, the flu vaccine. Should you get it? Should you not get it? Quick answer, that is absolutely not, but understand the why behind it. So go back and watch the video on Drs. Warren on Facebook and catch that information. This hour we're talking about autoimmunity, right? And so we're talking about ways that actually drive autoimmunity. So before the break, we started touching on what I had done yesterday, right? And so one of the procedures I had done yesterday, I actually went and saw Dr. McKenzie in Atlanta. Go ahead.
So I was going to say, before you go, why?
Why? Yeah.
Because a lot of people are like, why did you go get this taken out?
Yeah.
And I want you to be, because you're like one of the healthiest people I know. Like, I'm pretty healthy, but like Dr. Nathan is like above and beyond what he eats, what he puts in his body, what, like toxins that he's exposed to. If he walks into a place and he senses there's mold, he is out of there. He knows the research, he knows how to take care of himself, but you're still having symptoms.
Yeah, so as much as we've been taking care of my health, I've even talked to some patients about that. I know you have too, because we like to be honest in our office, right? And so over the last, what's it been, almost 2 years or so?
Maybe
3 years. I've been getting, like, randomly, I will get, like, migraine headaches that I've never had in my entire life, except for, a brief time during college when I was having all my sinus and allergy issues. I've been having, like, just simple, what we call simple headaches, like tension headaches that pop out of anywhere. And if you actually look at my cervical curve, right, on x-ray, you can attest to this. It is a 45-degree curve, right? Like, it's sitting right where it needs to sit. Again, I've been eating well, I exercise, I do all these things. I don't have issues with sleeping, right? I do those things right, but I was still having these symptoms. Chronic fatigue, right? There was a period of time where literally I would sleep even 8 or 9 hours and still feel completely exhausted when I woke up, and I couldn't figure out really what was going on, what was the why behind that. And then I started thinking about it, right? I started listening to, some of my mentors like Dr. Dan Pompa, and listening about this information about, hey, mercury fillings. What about mercury fillings? What about mercury fillings? and I'm like, holy cow, I've got one, right? I've got one in my mouth. It's been in there since I was like 13 or 14 years old. We know that it drastically affects and crosses the blood-brain barrier and actually affects the way the brain functions, the way the nervous system functions, and can create symptoms like that. And so, right, I finally decided, you know what, it's time for me to get it out. I did a lot of research to find out who I wanted to go to, because the more and more I read about it, the more and more I realized, like, there were people getting more and more, like, even more sick after getting it removed because it was being removed improperly. And so if you remove it improperly, you can get sick from these mercury fillings even more. It leaches more into your brain. But what I realized is this: every time I drink a hot liquid, right? Every time I had any other metal that was near that, anytime I was around areas that emitted things like, some really serious, like, phone reception, right? Like, things like cell phone towers, right? Anywhere time I was near like massive amounts of Wi-Fi, again, it will actually set off a vaporization of that mercury filling, and it can cross the blood-brain barrier.
And I'll say, guys, if you go onto YouTube and you look up the YouTube video Smoking Teeth, and what's the organization that, because this is...
Yeah, IAOMT. IAOMT.
So they're dentists that are hyper-vigilant and very aware of toxicity within the field of dentistry. So it's Smoking Teeth on YouTube, and look at how the gas comes off of amalgam fillings. And the crazy thing is that those fillings are made with 50 to 51% mercury, and it's an unstable way of mercury to be presented and to be used. And the crazy thing is, we had a practice member yesterday say he brought it up to his dentist, and his dentist was like, what did he say? He said, oh, it's not even all mercury. Well, duh,
yeah.
It's not all mercury. And it's only a little bit for 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Yep. A little bit, for a lifetime. And then you don't even have one. A majority of you guys that are listening to this have like 4 or 5 or 6 or 10 over time, that being released on top of metals that you're exposed to from vaccines, to the foods that you eat, from lead and paint, from a lot of different things, and you absorb all your heavy metals. Doc, that's going to be a problem. And so that's really huge.
Yeah, and too, like, just so you guys know, this is such an important topic, and it's so real that the whole entire European Union just banned mercury fillings from being applied to certain age groups of people, and by the year 2020 will be completely banned from all countries in the European Union because of the dangers from mercury. We know Chicago is the first American city that has banned mercury from being used in dental practices, and so yet there's still dentists out there that don't admit that mercury is damaging to the body. Those are dentists who do not know research and have not looked into it, or they don't want to admit, right, that they may have caused some neurological damage by putting that in. But bottom line is, even if you're a dentist that listens to this, and you're out there, again, if you know a better way, do a better way. But it's okay to admit that your profession may have done something that was not the right way. Move past that and now start doing some things the right way and learn the procedure. You can actually become, right, a biological dentist. You can get training to do this properly, like the one I went and saw, like Dr. McKenzie, who's actually a board member, right, of the IOMT. And that's why I went to her, because I knew she is going to go above and beyond. And she blew my... I don't even have time to go into all the things that I learned yesterday. Like, Dr. Rebecca is like, please relax on the way home, like, with all the things I'm telling her.
I was like, listen, can you just give me a chance to get away from the kids? Yeah. And then I'll listen to you. Because as soon as I saw him, he was like, as soon as we walked out of there, he was like, you don't understand. I was going to say, too, if you're a dentist and you're listening to this, message us on Facebook. Yes. We'll show you all the studies that we have.
Yes.
At Doctors Warren, even if you're not a dentist, if you guys want these studies to better understand this, go on Facebook, find us at Doctors Warren, and then shoot us a message, and get ready. We will send you everything you need to dive into to understand this. So,
no doubt.
You got it taken out.
Yep, I got it taken out, got it removed safely, and so she actually replaced it with a material that was compatible to my body. You can actually do what's called a Clifford test and test and see what works well with your body. But all of the things that she used, how cool is this? All the things she used, she actually gets it from Switzerland, which takes above and beyond with their ingredients. She even mixes her own cleaning solution that she uses inside the mouth, completely non-toxic. And so again, they replace that where again I had a cavity in the past with a compatible material that is right for my body, that is completely non-toxic. And so now I have no mercury, but that's not where it ends. My journey is now just beginning. Right.
Now it's all about detoxing.
That's right.
And so why are we talking about this in regards to autoimmune issues? And it was great. Like, we get so giddy when we see another healthcare practitioner that understands and knows what we do and how we advocate for our practice members and our coaching clients' health. And so it was amazing to talk with her, because I was like, man, I'm going to be completely honest with you. When Dr. Nathan really got into toxicity, I was like, oh no, I work intimately and I coach my thyroid practice members and my thyroid coaching clients to getting well. And I remember Dr. Nathan first brought up toxicity, and I was like, nope, I don't want to hear about it. I'm already doing so much. And I would have some of my best clients that were just not getting well. They could eat to a T, they could exercise, they could get adjusted, and they just weren't getting well. And I was like, oh my gosh, all right, I need to get into this. And so when I was talking to this doctor, I was like, what's really interesting is that thyroid issues used to be just kind of like an older female issue, and now I'm finding that men have it. And most of my male practice members and clients, when they come in, they're coming in because they have an increase of thyroid, like growth, or they have nodules all over their thyroid. And I told this doctor, I was like, listen, that's scary to me, because at 19 I had my thyroid cut out, and imagine if I knew what I knew now. And then she was like, no, you've got to understand that heavy metals in the body, like things that were exposed to toxins, one of the first places it's absorbed by is the thyroid. She goes, then it's the brain and the kidneys. And she had her thyroid cut out too. And she was like, this is, like, you could tell she was very passionate about it. She's like, because that's what caused my thyroid to be dysfunctional. And you could tell the both of us, two health practitioners that have a heart for helping people, having suffered because of this issue. Yeah. And we did not know. And now we're devoted, now we've devoted our lives to helping people not get to where we're at. And so if you're having thyroid disorders, if you're having skin issues, if you're having headaches and migraines, in our office, we take multi-level approach, okay? We address the body as a whole. So you worked on your nervous system for years. You healed your gut. You worked on your nutrition. You supported your body. You work out like a beast. You're such a great athlete. And then
I am not what I used.
Not what you used to be. I know you're getting old. But you can beat me in a race, so whatever. And then we realized that we need to take it a step further. And so, guys, you got to understand that if you have an autoimmune issue, the skin issue, the headaches, the migraines, you've got to work on your nervous system, and you got to work on nutrition. You will see significant improvement, and then you can take it deeper. So what I love about the people in our office is that when they start, their goals day one versus their goals 6 months versus their goal a year later versus their goals 5 years later is getting better and better and deeper and deeper. And so that's why I love helping people. So we got to go on break, but before we go on break, guys, if you're listening to this and you're like, whoa, like these doctors are talking about toxicity and nutrition and nervous system, that's because we get to the cause. We help the body get well. And if you want our help, guys, if you're in Chattanooga, guess what? We help you here locally. Our health center is located in Hamilton Place, right across from the YMCA, next to the Home Depot. And so we have our office manager standing by so that you can call her and set up an appointment time in our office to get well. That appointment includes a physical examination, nerve scan, and any necessary imaging to look at what your nervous system is doing. All of that is included. It's going to be a consult to getting down to the cause of your health issues. And we do take a payment to hold down your appointment because we are a busy office. And so that we can make sure we have time so that we can sit with you guys 45 minutes to an hour, depending on what your health issues are. So give Mary Beth a call. That number is 423-362-5360. Again, that's 423-362-5360. This is Wellness Radio. When we come back, Dr. Nathan's going to go even deeper about healing the gut, healing the nervous system, and the immune system.
All right, guys. So welcome, those of you who are just now tuning in.
Hair tissue
good to
is
see
a
you.
good test.
Hair tissue mineral, good test. I would do, so there's actually a mineral test that you can do by Body Bio. I would do that one. That's going to be a little bit more accurate. I think that's a really good one that you can do. Also, too, you can do a mineral breakdown of blood tests as well.
So is hair tissue mineral a good test? Is she asking about toxicity?
I don't think so. I think she's
okay. So you're asking about minerals.
Yeah.
Because toxicity testing, a lot of people will just test hair,
No.
and that's not accurate. If you want to touch on that.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, if you're testing for like heavy metals, hair does not work, right? Hair is not going to be accurate at all. Really even blood levels are not going to be very accurate. Those are going to show you more surface toxins. We do what's called a challenge test. We do a challenge test where you're actually taking a chelator agent, doing it in the right way, taking it within its half-life, and doing a urine challenge test over a period of time will tell you more accurately. But here's the thing, even if you do that urine challenge test, what I tell every single person that we work with that does that is that, again, when you see those levels of whether it's lead or mercury or aluminum or cadmium, when you see those levels and wherever those levels are at, you might as well throw almost 2 times that, because it's still not going to provoke all of the deeper metals, right? So like we know mercury and aluminum, they bioaccumulate specifically in areas of the brain, right? So again, they go deep into those tissues. So just by doing a urine challenge test, you're going deeper than like a blood test or just a regular urine test would go, but you have to actually pull it out from deeper tissues. So bottom line is, you just might as well add on to that whatever that shows. Lead, for example, lead is usually stored in the bones. So again, you can see, different times of people's lives. So you take women, for example, this is why lead is such a big deal with all of our women that are out there, because, you look at, let's say you're in your mid, 40s, 50s, your parents lived in the lead generation. And actually you guys, caught it as well too. And lead gets passed down from generation to generation. We know it actually goes from mother to baby. And so you got to think about it. If it's lead is stored in the bones, it has an affinity for the bones. So different periods of life, specifically for women, when you're losing bone density. So for example, when you go through like puberty, right, you actually lose some bone density. Again, what we know is that as you're losing bone density, guess what comes out with that? Lead, right? When you do things like you're pregnant, you're losing some bone density, guess what comes out? Lead comes out. That's why it can be absorbed by the baby so much. Other times like pre-menopause, post-menopause, right? We know that there's times where lead is actually coming out even more. So that being said, it's stored deep in the bones. So even a urine challenge test isn't going to tell you all that's there, but that's the gold standard. That's the best one that you can do, is a provoked, urine challenge test for metals. That's the one that I would do if I were going to get it done. All right. But again, just go ahead and expect that it's there, right? And some of you, they're like, man, I don't really want to spend the money on testing. Guys, you've got metals in your body, to the extent it's going to be different based on the person. But we have a lot, right? I think about, my exposure to heavy metals and where they're at. Guys, I know that, again, when you have metals, so like, for example, if my mom had, mercury fillings in her mouth when she was carrying me, again, so you may be a mom, right? They carried your child and had mercury fillings in her mouth. Don't beat yourself up. Not your fault. You didn't know, right? You never know, so you can do the best with what you have. But that also means that now you're kind of getting educated on this process. So later on, you're going to want to do some good detox protocols with your kids to make sure that you're getting those metals out of them, which is what I'm doing with mine. That's something that we're going to do with our kids as well, because we know with Dr. Rebecca losing her thyroid, with my exposure to heavy metals, I know that my kids have, some of those heavy metals in them as well. So we're already starting to do some very gentle detox processes with them. So if you need some help with that stuff, just private message us. We can go over some of those protocols as well to take you deeper with detoxification. So we're about to go live, so stay tuned. All right, guys, welcome back. This is Wellness Radio with Drs. Warren. I'm your health expert, Dr. Nathan Warren. I'm here with my beautiful wife, Dr. Rebecca Warren. And so the first hour, if you guys, we're tuned in for both hours, we talked about things like the flu vaccine, should you get the flu vaccine, what to do if you get the flu, all those things. So if you didn't catch that, go on our Drs. Warren page and actually watch that. You can go through that. That's why we started a second video, so that, again, you don't have to dive through 2 hours of information. You can kind of go back and forth and pick what you want. But definitely make sure you catch that. It's massively important. And it kind kind of ties into what we're talking about today because of the toxicity issues, driving autoimmunity. So in this show, we're talking about autoimmune. We're talking about what damages the immune system. It kind of took me into what I did yesterday with getting my mercury filling removed. And what's interesting is sometimes we'll talk with a dentist, or we'll have somebody mention their dentist that is kind of like pushing back against like this mercury thing. Oh, mercury is not as bad as people make it seem. Well, number one, it's very clear in the literature. But number two, we're actually trying to, I actually think that the field of dentistry, I think that if you dentists actually even knew what you can do for people's health, like you don't even value what you have as much as I value.
Yeah, he's more passionate.
Like,
he's passionate about your profession, is what he's trying to get to.
There's no doubt. It's crazy. It's crazy.
You actually affect overall health and healing.
Yep.
I feel like it's harder to see though, because you work on someone's mouth and you send them on your way, and you don't realize what happens in that year with was going on with their mouth.
Yep.
Like Weston A. Price, which I know when he came out with all this stuff, his own profession disowned him.
Apart, right?
But now the book that he created, the information that he put out there is being proven by science, that literally the way that we eat, the way that we treat our bodies are affecting our jaw development, how our healthy our teeth is, how our immune and our nervous system is doing. Like, you are affecting people's overall health. And like this dentist that you saw down in Atlanta, she's talking about different procedures that she does, and that she helps people in regards to oral health, and how it affects their overall health, how they completely transform into different people.
Yep.
And so, I mean, we love dentistry, but we just wish you guys understood how impactful what you do is, not just to oral health, but to overall body health. And so it's a really big thing.
No doubt. And again, remember this too, like, when it comes to, things like oral health, we're talking about for a specific reason, because damages to your oral health will create autoimmune reaction in the body. There's no doubt, because think about it, and it goes even a little bit further, but it's all connected as far as like the first part of your gut, right? Your gut health. We think of it as the mouth, but it actually goes a little bit further, right? Because we're supposed to be nasal breathers, and we know that the air that we breathe in, we actually builds up our microbiome in the gut, which when you have a proper, diverse microbiome in the gut, your chances of autoimmunity are basically slim to none, right? Because you have a healthy gut. But bottom line is your oral cavity, if it is not healthy, guess what? Every time you eat, every time you swallow, every time if you're a mouth breather, again, you are drastically increasing your risk of autoimmune type reactions in the body.
And so you're probably listening to this and like, oh, great, docs, I'm going to go see a dentist now. Nope, that's not what we're saying.
No.
We're saying, number one, you need to say biological dentist. But not just that. Number two, you need a healthcare practitioner. Because you're probably wondering, like, why are we two doctors of chiropractic that deal with functional health and getting people healing and well? Why are we talking about it? Because there's things that you have to do leading up to these types of procedures, and there's things that you need to do to heal from it. And so I have people right now in my office that have thyroid issues that I'm helping coach detox. They can only go so far because they still have fillings in their mouth, but they have seen amazing improvements with their autoimmune issues. But now that they see that their body is changing, that they're getting well, that they're needing less thyroid hormones, that their digestive system is improving, that their headaches are leaving, now they're understanding, whoa, I need to take it further, and I need to do something about all these fillings in my mouth. And now we're coaching them through that. We're giving them the right recommendations and all of that. But I would love for you to explain, a lot of people have heard of leaky gut.
Yeah.
A lot of people know what it is. People no, they don't know what it is. They know the words. But what is it, and what does it have to do with overall health?
Yeah, so whenever you have basically, when you're looking at your gut, whenever you're exposed to, whether it's certain toxins, things like heavy metals, things like glyphosate, pesticides, herbicides, maybe it's certain inflammatory foods that you're coming in contact with. All of these different things, what they do over time is they actually damage the lining of the gut. The lining of the gut is about 1 cell thick, which means what? It's very important that you take care of it, otherwise you can create damage very quickly. And so again, what we know is that actually over time, these different toxins, these different lifestyle factors, massive amounts of stress, nerve dysfunction, they all create this process where you actually get damage to the tight junctions in your gut. These tight junctions are supposed to be closed when they're supposed to be closed, and they're supposed to be open when they're supposed to be open. But whenever you damage those tight junctions, then when you eat certain foods, right, or you get certain things that go into the gut, they are then able to escape the lining of the gut, get into the bloodstream. Guess what the body does? It attacks it. Your own immune system attacks its own body, all right? Some of these things that escape the lining of the gut as well, that we know, things like gluten, things like zonulin, those type of things that are actually in, things like wheat products, actually look very similar to your own body tissue, like similar to things like thyroid, which is why we know for you, when you're coaching thyroid patients, again, why it's such a big deal when you start working their way off of things like gluten, not because it's the end-all be-all worst thing, but why? Because your body will actually attack it, all going back to a leaky gut. So it's literally damage to those tight junctions that allow things to go through the gut and actually get into the body, and the body attacks itself.
So people can have digestive issues without having digestive symptoms.
Big time. Absolutely. Going on for years, right? Going on for years. That's why a lot of people that are diagnosed with autoimmune conditions, it's like, they go in, they're like, I didn't even know that I had something like this. They're like, oh, I didn't even know. My doctor did this test or he did that test. I didn't know that my pain in my joints, had anything to do with my gut. I didn't know that literally they want to remove my thyroid now, that it had anything to do with my gut. I didn't know that my gallbladder attack, that it keeps happening over time, has to do with my gut. I didn't know that my liver, my fatty liver, that my doctor tested for me, has to do with my gut. My cholesterol numbers, I didn't know any of these things have to do with my gut. And so these things are actually going on for years and years before, right, you actually get that major symptom that goes on, which is why, what do we tell our patients? You can't base your health on how you feel and how you look. You can only base your health on how you function. Right? There's no other way to do it. And so in our office, that's what we check, right? We check for function. We check to see how well is your body functioning in all areas, right? So nervous system function. We check to see how well that's actually functioning. We check to see, again, how well is your body functioning from a nutritional standpoint? How well is your body functioning from a toxic environment? How well is your body functioning in this environment that you live in? Maybe it's stress. We look at you as an overall person. That's how we're able to address so many issues. That's how we're able to see so many people with autoimmune conditions actually get well under our care. Do we treat autoimmune disease? No. What do? We actually help the body set it up in the best situation can be set up by getting down to the cause of their disease, cause of their dysfunction, and we watch their body get well on its own, and that is what's so exciting. So if you're listening to this and you suffer with autoimmune conditions, maybe it's things like lupus, maybe it's things like ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, maybe it's things like thyroid. Yeah, there you go. Come see Dr. Rebecca. Maybe it's things like Graves' disease. Maybe it's all of these autoimmune conditions, guys. If you suffer with those things, or maybe it's like you're just trying to prevent it. Maybe you're just trying to get rid of your headaches, your neck pain, your back pain. Wherever you're at, guys, that's where we want to meet you, and that's what we deal with in our office. We just want to love, we want to care on you, and we want to challenge you to take your health to the next level. And so if you come in and see us, guys, Mary Beth is standing by. We are a busy office, so we do, we take a few appointments within our shows. Once those are gone, again, they are gone for the show. So if you want those, you can call Mary Beth. That number is 423-362-5360. Again, that's 423-362-5360. She is standing by, and again, she'll be able to get you set up with that appointment. So we got to go on a break, guys. This is Wellness Radio. When we come back, we're going to go over some solutions for autoimmune. All right, guys, so, again, diving into autoimmune, this is an important subject because we're seeing it happen more and more, and to really get rid of it, you have to understand the causes. That's why we went over them so much, from things like toxicity, and so, again, one of the things that we go over a lot, whether it's patients that we see in our office, clients that we coach, is doing something called true cellular detox, actually detoxing at a cellular level. We coach people in this process. I actually think that one of the most valuable things that we do in our office is pointing people in the right directions as we're peeling off the layer of the onion, right, with your health.
I was going to say, it was about the heavy metals.
Oh, yeah, good. Glad we answered that, yeah. So again, that's one part of the process to actually remove. So you can remove the source of toxicity, but then we actually have to get it out of the body, whether it's, working it out of things like the liver, the kidneys, the gut, working it out of things things like, other deeper areas of the body, like the bone, working out of the brain. And you have to do it in steps and in phases, and we do that in our office. We do that effectively, and we do it very safely. Again, so that's something that we work with. But other things, when it comes to autoimmune condition, I can't state it enough. You have to focus on the health of the gut, all right? So you have to take it deep when it comes to actually healing the gut and driving down autoimmune reaction. So some of the steps that I think are the most powerful to take is, again, utilizing fasting to your benefit. Whether it's doing something like a 5 to 7 day water fast, maybe it's a 5 to 7 day bone broth fast, but do something to heal the gut. You drive down autoimmune conditions just by doing that alone. It will drive down your immune markers. Then take it to the next level when it comes to rebuilding the health of the gut. So after you fast, you refeed. And some of the best ways that I think it is to refeed the body, so that would be doing things like bone broth, right? Either making it on your own or buying it. We even were at Costco the other day, and they sell, grass-fed, grass-finished bone broth that's already made. It's in the refrigerated section. All you gotta do is pour it in, heat it up, maybe add some extra Himalayan salt or grass-fed butter, and there you go. And so when you're refeeding after the fast, I would use gut healing products like bone broth. I would use things like L-glutamine. L-glutamine is healing to the gut. I would also use, here's an advanced one for you guys, using something like colostrum, all right? So I would use by Mount Capra. We actually have it on our Amazon store. I can have Dr. Rebecca post that. But by Mount Capra, it's from goat's milk, grass-fed goats. But using the colostrum is amazing for helping to heal leaky gut and drive down autoimmunity. Some of the other things that I think are fantastic is building a diverse species of bacteria in the gut that go further than just probiotics. So at our house, we use things like a skin serum that is actually a probiotic for our skin. We use it on our kids. We use it on myself. I use it on Dr. Rebecca. It's something that we do every night before we go to bed. And so it's like a probiotic for your skin. We do things like we take Restore. Restore helps to, again, create a new environment in the gut that allows you, when you're outside in nature, putting your hands in dirt, breathing in the air when you're hiking, you get to build that diverse, microbiome in the gut. I think that's an amazing product. You can utilize other things like fermented foods. We've started absolutely stepping it up at home with fermented foods. We use things like Redwood Hills, like goat's milk kefir. You can also make your own goat's milk kefir. You can do that by getting some raw goat's milk from a local farmer, get some grains, some kefir grains, some milk grains, and you actually put that in, you ferment it, and again, there's a process that you do there. It's very easy to do. You can make your own, and again, that's a massive amounts of good bacteria. We use Ancient Awakenings raw coconut kefir. We use things like raw sauerkraut. Dr. Rebecca actually found a probiotic-rich salsa that we use. We use things like kimchi. So we're getting in all this good, healthy bacteria from the foods that we eat. And that's how you reset your gut and build a healthy gut and a healthy microbiome. All right, guys, welcome back. This is Wellness Radio with Drs. Nathan Warren and Dr. Rebecca Warren. Guys, we are your health experts here locally in Chattanooga and across the United States. We've had some, great shows today. We talked about the flu. We talked about the flu vaccine. We gave, tons of information on that in our first hour that we did. This hour, we've gone over autoimmunity. We started talking about some of the procedure I had done, which we will be posting pictures of it, and diving into what autoimmune really is and how it's created with damage to the gut. And so I think we need to kind of dive into, what to do to start down-regulating, autoimmune type reaction in the body.
I just want to say too, if you guys are just tuning in, you can watch these videos. If all of these topics you're like, man, I didn't hear this, follow us on Facebook, like the page, follow, share the videos. It's Drs. Warren, DRS. WARREN, so make sure to go on there. Yeah, let's talk about solutions.
Yeah, so one of the things that we've been doing a lot at home is we've really ramped up our fermented foods, right? Like Dr. Rebecca came home, what was it, like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and she's like, listen, we have got to increase the amount of fermented food that we're getting. And so we went on like a mission to get as much like good fermented food as we could possibly find. And it was amazing. We found some unbelievable products, unbelievable products.
Absolutely. And so the reason why I decided to get more fermented foods, so I've got fermented kimchi, sauerkraut, kefir, kombucha. The reason why, even for me, you guys got to understand, I don't have a thyroid. And so I'm dependent on absorption. And so I'm hyper aware more than you would be. You're not absorbing foods correctly. You don't know, you don't understand that. I do, because I'm dependent on a medication to live. Talk about getting screwed over by the medical system.
Yeah, no doubt.
But I stop absorbing and utilizing my medication, so I know that gut healing is important. So fermented foods are really, really great.
Yeah, maybe we can take a picture of all of ours at the home.
I will do that.
Yeah, because we really stepped that up. Bone broth, right, is an amazing thing to add in. That's fantastic healing for the gut. I talked about on Facebook Live, I talked about colostrum. So from Mount Capra specifically is amazing healing for the gut. Utilizing that product is fantastic. Restore is one that we use in our household quite a bit. If we use a probiotic, we cycle it, right? We cycle a probiotic so we get different strains, and that's really, really important, that you're not just getting the same monoculture over and over again. We want diversity in our gut for sure. L-glutamine, right, is a fantastic one that you can do. Do you have any other favorites that you want to throw out there?
Those are all exactly what I put my thyroid clients on. So, guys, it's always about getting down to the cause, and that if you have a symptom that's not getting well, you're not getting the help you need, and it's only going to get worse. So if you love our help, we set up appointment times in the office. You can give Mary Beth a call. The number is 423-362-5360. Again, that's 423-362-5360, and set up a time to come in. We do a physical examination, consult, nerve scan, and any necessary imaging to see how your nervous system is functioning. And make sure to follow us on Facebook at Doctors Warren. This is the Wellness Radio. We're here every Saturday from 10 to 11, and every Tuesday 7 to 8 p.m. Have a great day, guys.
All right, guys. So so we had some questions. Hey, Patricia, good to see you. David, is rosacea aggravated when detoxing? Absolutely, it can be, right? So remember, when we're detoxing the body, this goes with fasting and detoxing. When the body's going through a healing process, sometimes you will have symptoms that show up. This is a great thing, though, right? This is how the body heals. It's actually called a Herx reaction. Herx reaction is basically stating that again, your body will go through certain symptoms as it's going through the healing process. And so, that's a perfect example. Yeah, when you're detoxing, it may show up that way, but again, it's because the body is actually in a healing state, and that's really the only way that you can actually officially get rid of something like rosacea, is actually healing the gut, right? Because gut issues show up on the skin. There's no doubt about it, and it's peeling the layers of the onion back, which means you may have to do things over and over again to really kind of drive down those autoimmune type reactions that are there. But yeah, it can definitely happen, when detoxing. And to me, when those symptoms show up, when I'm fasting, when I have symptoms show up, when I'm detoxing, I have symptoms show up, I'm like, man, yes, I am on the right pathway, right? I'm actually stimulating my body's natural healing response. Think of it, when you think about the body healing, there's examples of where, the body kind of starts to feel a little bit worse before it gets better, right? Look at a fever. A fever is an amazing, amazing thing for us. It's an amazing healing property for our body. But what happens is, again, it's uncomfortable, right? It's not fun to go through. But bottom line is it's an amazing healing process that's going on. Look at things like burn victims, right? When people get burned and they burned off like the skin and the skin receptors there, the nerve receptors there. What's the most painful part of that accident and that injury is actually the regrowth process. So as we're getting help, as the body's trying to repair itself, sometimes that pain is even greater, right? So it's very, very important to understand that when you're doing the right thing, sometimes symptoms are going to show up, but it means you're on the right path. Now, there are ways to mitigate those symptoms when detoxing. That's why we do it specifically in our office, and we do it the right way. So by using certain binders that actually bind those toxins to prevent redistribution into other tissues is very important. That's why just doing things like cilantro, doing things like, just chlorella, spirulina, those things are not true detox. They may pull out some, some toxins, but bottom line is if you don't have anything there to bind it, to get rid of it, again, it can actually be kind of dangerous because it's going to redistribute throughout the body. So, yeah, David, hopefully that answers your question. And for those of you that were listening, all about autoimmunity, guys, if you suffer with that, if a family member suffers with that, man, please reach out. Please shoot us a message on Facebook again, or you can give the girls a call at the office. Come in and see us. There's a lot that can be done. Don't just settle for this as something you have to live for with the rest of your life, guys. Again, your body is created to heal. Your body is created amazing. I want you guys to understand that there's always a lot of hope out there. Make sure all the stuff I just talked about with helping to heal that gut, man, if you started that stuff I went over right there, I mean, even within a few weeks, your body is going to be doing massively better. You'll notice a huge change in your health by adding those things in. So I challenge you to do that. And if you have any other questions, man, please feel free to shoot us a message, all right? I hope you guys have a blessed weekend. I hope you enjoy your weekend with your family and friends. Stay out of this rainy weather. We love you guys. We'll see you next time.